doing today, Chong?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Hey, listen, man, I have a few questions to ask you, man. I think you're one of the most interesting guys on the internet thus far, man. You talk about a topic that I like to discuss because even though I don't know as much as you about fascia, but I do know that there was something growing up that I saw that there were kids just doing some athletic stuff that I just couldn't understand what they were doing, right? Um, but before we get into it, explain to me about fascia and explain what got you into fascia.
Right. So what got me into fascia is really some of the fundamental questions that was never answered through weight training. So just like you're going to notice, especially when you play basketball, you will notice some of the athlete that play basketball, they're very skinny, yet they're very athletic. They're very powerful. Like when you have body to body contact, there's a lot of strength within them. However, they might not be very strong in the gym. So meaning they're not gonna be, deadlifting or squatting a lot initially without any training. But how are they able to be strong naturally, right? That's one of the questions. And another question that always bugged me was, when I was growing up and doing strength training, because that's all we heard of. Why is it when someone does for example, compound movement, they could feel the quads or lower back doing a squat, but some of the elite ones, the more athletic ones, when they do a squat, they can feel a lot glutes and core. So these are clearly differences in how the body functions, right?
Mhm.
So the fundamental questions that has to be answered. Number one is how do you actually produce strength and power without big muscle size? And
Mhm.
number two is what is the neurological difference and what makes someone, recruit glutes more than others? So that was the fundamental question we try to answer in the beginning of my work.
Okay, so you focus on the glutes, right? You keep mentioning glutes. What is it about the glute and glute recruitment that is so important when it comes to athleticism?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't understand the importance of glutes. Some people, I see some sports performance coach, they even preach being quad dominant. I'm like, you must be out of your mind. It's not the quad that produces the power. It's really the glutes as a holistic unit. And now if you understand fascia science, you actually do fascial dissection, which I have done in Stanford, I've done in Denver, at the anatomy of Institute of Anatomy and Anatomical Research. So you will find the clear evidence of the fascia lata or the fascial aponeurosis surrounding the gluteal muscle. So if you look at the mainstream anatomy, what is happening is they are removing the 22 kilo of the fascial material to demonstrate what the muscle look like. That's not how your body looks like, by the way. That's a complete imagination of the artist because that's not how your body looks like.
Mhm.
You have to remove a lot of fascia to show the muscle to look like that way. Even even the muscle itself, the shape itself, every fiber is encapsulated by fascia. So without fascia, the muscle, because I touched it on the cadaver, it has really no structure. It's a mush. It's like bananas, which is very astounding to me because I actually felt it in my hands. But why is the glute so important? Because the glutes contains anatomically 80% of fascia lata connection come from the glutes going down the leg. So if you look at the mainstream anatomy, it goes to the IT band. That's how the gluteus maximus and medius, all those muscle attached to the side of the leg through the IT band. That's only through the tuberosity. That's only 20%.
Mhm.
So if you're saying like your glutes works that way, then that's not it. Because the large amount of connection just goes down. I actually held it in my hand. I can actually pull this whole huge fascia lata, the entire leg would move.
Mhm.
So the understanding which we had previously with the fascia removed is completely wrong.
Mhm. So the depictions of a body of a skeleton with the muscle, you're telling me that it's stripped down of the fascia, but what did you say the fascia? It looks like a mush, you saying?
No,
Like
no,
like could you
the muscle without the fascia is a mush.
okay, but the fascia keeps it up and holds its integrity. That's what you're saying.
The fascia is what shapes the muscle.
Really? I did
Yes.
not know that. I did not know that. I'm
No, no,
certified personal trainer and whatnot. I've never seen that, never heard of that.
yeah, yeah, I'm certified the performance coach, corrective exercise specialist. You're not gonna learn that from the mainstream material. You have to do specific fascial research and specific fascial dissection to actually understand what is actually happening. So that's why, the fascial research is a emerging science because it encapsulates many area of the, health and fitness of the human body,
Hmm.
especially sports and movement. So
Hmm.
this is all coming out, in the last 10 years of research.
Yeah. So one of the things that I like to talk about is type 2, type 1 muscle fibers, right? Because I've heard that certain groups of people have are more or genetically predisposed to type 2 or certain type 1, right? How does fascia play when it comes to muscle twitch fibers or whatnot? Like how does that play in that?
So that's a good question because nobody has actually they they always say, okay, the type 2 the type 2 fiber is important. You want to you want to do a biopsy to understand if this blah 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 X professional athlete has more of this fiber or not. But the fact is they are too afraid to do this type of test. Why? Because they have also done the same test on animals. They've done the biopsy test on, for example, the koala bear,
Hmm.
and then they compared it with the kangaroo. Now, kangaroo is a much more explosive animal, right?
By far.
And a koala bear just sits there all, on the tree and hugs the tree and is very slow and is very docile, right? But guess what? They find the same type of muscle fiber in both animals. So what actually makes a kangaroo more explosive is because the fascial integration and fascial connection of the kangaroo, because the kangaroo has much better fascial connection in the hind leg of the body.
Hmm.
I mean, I've heard excuses from biomechanics and researchers. They say, we can't access elite athlete to do biopsies. Yes, you do. You just go to the Division 1 athlete, or you find someone who's really athletic, like some Division 1 dunker. You can do the study there, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be LeBron James.
Yeah.
But if you make it into Division 1 and you possess a 40-inch vertical, you are classified classify as elite athlete, you can do biopsy.
Hmm.
But the fact is, it's inconclusive in their findings. And also, there is really no way for the mainstream to say, okay, we can definitively change the muscle typing.
Yeah.
It's a sign that the argument of the theory has its holes.
Okay.
So from the fascia perspective, what we understand, I mean, we what we understand is how much fascial connection you can tap into the glutes. That makes tremendous amount of difference
Hmm.
all between a average athlete to a elite level athlete. So
Hmm.
I have done some independent research with so for example the top one on the Guinness books of record. He's a high jumper. He has the highest vertical jump. And when we did the uh, elevated tall curls on his feet, within 10 seconds he's feeling the glutes. And this is actually on my channel, Hyperarch Fascia Training, and you
Okay.
can take a look. I also done work with Cardor Ziani, who is a dunk legend. He's the one that started the dunk shows from Europe.
Yeah, I
You know,
know. I've read about. I saw him. I saw him with Ben Patrick.
Right. So, and in the beginning, all he was saying is, the foot gave you the wings. If you don't have a strong foot, your knee's gonna hurt. But nobody understand what exactly he means. But
Hmm.
through fascia research, everything makes sense because
Hmm.
it is this very tough collagenous connection from the foot to the glutes that makes tremendous difference in developing athleticism. And
Okay.
this is has to do with the specific cells and structures of the fascia. So number one, that